Hi there, welcome. This is the Kelly's Astrology podcast, where you can find insight, guidance, and understanding through astrology. I'm Kelly, and I'll be your host. Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Kelly's Astrology podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since we last connected, and I hope you've been doing okay since that lunar eclipse in Virgo. In today's show, I'm going to touch on some of the important astrology and shifts that are coming through just after the middle of the month, just after the middle of March. That means, of course, I want to speak to the new moon in Pisces. I also want to talk a little bit about Mercury stationing direct, and I'm going to briefly mention the sun moving into Aries and the Equinox. Before I do, I want to let you know about a special Equinox sale that I'm having where you can save more than 40% off a bundle of webinars. So if you want to improve your astrology skills, take the chance to stock up on your favorite astrology classes. This special Equinox bundle offer is available only between March 16 and March 21st. In this Equinox special, you'll receive rich teaching to help improve your chart and forecasting skills across a range of topics, including timing and prediction, planetary deep dives, aspect and planet combinations, traditional techniques, the houses and core foundations, relationships, life cycles, and so much more. Pop over to kellysastrology.com to find out more. Of course, I will drop the direct link to that Equinox bundle special offer in the show notes below. All right, so let's dive into the astrology that is really important through the middle of March, which is kind of really talking about the new moon in Pisces, which is happening March 18 or March 19, depending on where you are. This new moon in Pisces to me is it represents a shift or a transition that indicates why life might finally get moving around the middle of March. So the new moon, March 18 or 19, depending on where you are, the new moon is at 28 degrees Pisces. So it's right near the end of Pisces. It's right near the tail end of the whole zodiac, which is a clue that this is a new moon about transitions. It is also our first lunation since we had the eclipse season. And that means this particular new moon is kind of like a breath of fresh air, as if you're kind of washing the slate clean after a messy period. Where I live in southern Ontario, we have had our first melt of the whole winter, our spring melt. And so the snow has melted, and now we have a lot of grit, like the sand and the salt that is used to, stop everyone slipping and sliding around in the winter. The snow melts and all the gritty sand is there. And so we've got to sweep it away. Sometimes we get rain that washes it away. And that's what this new moon feels like, the kind of cleansing of the leftover debris of whatever it is you've just been through. So this new moon in Pisces offers so much support for beginnings. It offers a lot of encouragement for growth, and it is a clue to start tuning into your next big adventures. The new moon itself at 28 Pisces forms a sextile to Uranus at 28 Taurus. And so this link from Uranus in Taurus to the new moon shows that this combination, new moon plus Uranus, can really help lift a stuck situation. It may bring movement into any areas of life that have been sluggish or stagnant. So, that idea where things have just got congested or got a bit stuck, this new moon with that influence from Uranus is energizing, it gets it moving, it starts things flowing again. So that means that around the time of the new moon, if not the day of, certainly in the days following, you might receive a burst of energy or get curious about and excited for new possibilities. Keep in mind that even though the new moon itself takes place on March 18 or 19, the energy of the new moon influences us for 2 weeks until we get to our next full moon. So our next full moon is, I think it's the very start of April in Libra. So the new moon in Pisces runs from mid-March all the way to the start of April in terms of its energetic influence. So that whole time can bring this burst of energy or help you activate curiosity for new options. In addition to this electrifying touch from Uranus, the new moon in Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. And you probably know that Jupiter right now is in Cancer, where it's elevated. It is in its exaltation place. So having the new moon being ruled or guided by such a well-regarded planet can really help you elevate your own choices and focus on high-quality options and pursuits. Really this Jupiter influence on the new moon, it gives some confidence, some self-belief, a sense of deservingness. Jupiter is like, why can't I have, that thing that's really meaningful to me? Why can't I pursue things that are of interest to me? Why can't I kind of live a life that's authentic to me? So Jupiter is sort of that nudge to maybe bring a little bit of quality control into your life where you think, this is a better fit for me. I'm really going to go for that. I'm not going to settle for second best. I'm not sort of compromising just because, I don't think I can get what I'm worth. So Jupiter is really nudging you towards kind of high quality, meaningful choices, projects, priorities. Now, in addition to Jupiter just being in beautiful condition by its sign placement and that elevated influence flowing into what this new moon can activate, Jupiter itself has recently stationed direct. You might remember, or you might recall back around the 10th, 11th of March, Jupiter ended its recent retrograde. And that means Jupiter itself is in this primed and ready to build and grow state. Jupiter has been going backwards since November. And so Jupiter has kind of shaken off that funk of review and reorganizing and going back over the past. And Jupiter itself is starting to move forward with fresh insight, a new set of plans, and a high level of enthusiasm and motivation. So when we combine Jupiter having just stationed direct as the ruler of this new moon in Pisces, we really get themes of forward movement as well as leaving the past behind. So this new moon in Pisces, plus the condition of its ruler Jupiter, it has so many layers about moving forward, moving on, leaving the old behind you. You're kind of done with what was. We're not going to be ruminating or reminiscing about how things used to be. We are reorienting our perspective and our point of view. We're literally looking forward. What's next? What mountain do I want to climb? That makes this new moon an incredibly auspicious omen for moving forward. So anything that you need to take steps to get going with, this new moon is kind of the next 2 weeks are your cosmic green light to go for it. Big dreams that you have been nurturing or maybe mulling over, or maybe you've been kind of just chewing over since November when Jupiter went retrograde, they're the things that can start to come together. So maybe back September, October, November, you were starting to maybe build a little momentum, or you're putting out early feelers about a major move, a big life change or upgrade that you're working on. And then maybe it kind of got pushed to the back burner over the end of year, start of year period. And now with Jupiter moving forward, whatever you kind of put on pause or you put into a holding pattern back in October, November, that is being reawakened and reactivated now. So plans you've been working on since late 2025 might finally get moving, and new opportunities may come together as well. You might realize that you have more support or resources than you thought to help you make a special experience happen. Jupiter is one of the original or ancient outer planets. So Jupiter carries a lot of weight to traditional astrologers. And so a Jupiter stationing direct is not just like, oh, I'm tweaking my weekly or monthly routine. Jupiter stationing direct, especially as the guide of this new moon, is like, no, we're leveling up in our life. We are making a major move. That big change, maybe it's a career change, maybe it's a geography change, like a relocation or a major move in terms terms of housing. Maybe there's a big development, a big step you're looking to take in your personal life. This is what Jupiter is encouraging you for. Jupiter is not interested in like small potatoes. This is the big stuff that redefines the focus and the thrust of life, and that really helps you kind of start to tune back into the things that have always been important to you. So with Jupiter being about things like wisdom and learning, adventure and new experiences, even in ancient astrology, Jupiter was linked to freedom. So this new moon in Pisces, which is ruled and guided by, so heavily influenced by Jupiter, this can be a time where you start like settling on or figuring out what choices are going to lead to more freedom or more meaning for you. And this new moon in Pisces, this sort of 2-week window after it, it really feels like taking steps to get closer to the life that you dream about. It really is very positive and very uplifting. And that is this very special combination that we have with the new moon in Pisces, ruled by such a kind of well-placed Jupiter. It's in its exalted sign and it's just station direct. So the cosmic green light, it's not just that. It's like the red carpet is rolled out for you. All you've got to do is walk down it. So to shift focus for a minute, this kind of middle part of March, as we roll into kind of like the 3rd week of March, it also brings the end of Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is going to station direct at 8 Pisces, and that's on the 20th or 21st of March, depending on where you are. So Mercury is going to need a few days after the technical end of its retrograde before it kind of gets caught up and is ready to really restart. So even though Mercury retrograde is ending on the 20th or 21st, we're really looking at about the 23rd of March when, delayed agreements might be resolved or travel and logistical bloopers kind of start to sort themselves out. And it's really helpful that Mercury is ending its retrograde just after this new moon. Think about all of the activity in the Pisces part of your chart and life right now. We've got the new moon in Pisces. We also have Mars making its once in 2-year pass through Pisces, and Mercury is now ending its retrograde. So all of the dreams and wishes that you have about the topics of the Pisces house in your chart, you are going to get moving on those in this next couple of weeks. So with the Mercury station direct happening just a couple of days after the new moon, it's worth mentioning them together, which is why I wanted to include that in today's show. So if you are feeling really full of inspiration and enthusiasm around that new moon in Pisces on the 18th, I'd invite you to take a few days to kind of dream, envision, review, kind of clarify your plans and timelines. And that will allow any lingering confusion from the Mercury station to clear. Now, while that's happening, the sun is also going to move into Aries. That happens the same day as the Mercury station, the 20th or the 21st, depending on where you are. The sun coming into Aries marks the equinox, and that is the moment of the astrological new year. It's another helpful omen for rebirth and for renewal. And so we have the new moon, then we have Mercury station, we have the sun into Aries. When we combine these different shifts, it really is a clue that you may be really done with the past and you are more than ready to seek out new avenues for growth, expansion, and life upgrades. So that feels like a very busy few days around the middle of March that I hope brings kind of that breath of fresh air and maybe a sense of renewal or new enthusiasm for you. Let me know what you are looking to renew and reset in your life in the comments below. And if you'd like to deepen your understanding of astrology, chart interpretation, and timing, I invite you to take advantage of my special Equinox bundle sale available from March 16. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Kelly's Astrology podcast. I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.